Welcome to the FNO InsureTech Podcast, a place where movers and shakers from all points within the insurance ecosystem gather and discuss all things InsureTech. Here are your hosts, Lee Boyd and Rob Beller.
Hey, podcast world, welcome to another fabulous edition of FNO InsureTech. As always, your one single stop for all things InsureTech, insurance, etc., and other nonsense
new
that
releases.
Lee and I can think of or make up along the way.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Lee?
Yeah, we are the home for anything new, special, and important in InsureTech. We are where companies go to say, we got new news.
It's funny that you say that, Lee, because today we have on, I think, a two-timer for the third time
Something
to tell
like
us just that. Today we have on Kyle Nakatsuji, who you know and love from Clearcover, CEO of Clearcover, who's been on our podcast a few times. He's back again today, but not so much for Clearcover, because Clearcover has started something new called Dearborn Labs.
Yes. In Dearborn Labs, we're going to let Kyle do the introduction. It is a fascinating new play on AI, helping mid-market companies, insurance companies, MGAs, whoever, implement and do great things with AI. But we want Kyle to let you know in more detail. It's always a delight to have him on. Can't wait to hear it.
In this incredibly fast-moving world, where do you start? How do you do it? How do you get it done? And how do you make sure it has the impact that you want it to have and that the maximum impact that it can have? Right. And that's what Dearborn Labs is about, and we're about to hear all about it. So instead of the usual nonsense that you hear Lee and I running through at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to get right to Kyle. So without further ado, here is our interview with Kyle Nakatsuji, CEO and founder at Clearcover and Dearborn Labs. Hey, everybody, we're here with, I don't know, two-timer, three-timer. Who can count this high anymore? I don't know. We have Kyle Nakatsuji, CEO, founder at Clearcover, and now Dearborn Labs. And we're going to hear all about Dearborn Labs today. But first, we have to ask the most important question. How the hell are you? It's been a minute. It's good to have you back.
Rob and Lee, it is great to be back. Thank you so much we called, we begged, and we pleaded, and I think I had to wait on the schedule for 3 or 4 months. Yeah, but finally,
long list. Long list.
I appreciate the chance to be on. And there, you all are prolific. I had to look back at our last episode. I was 210.
210.
And,
okay.
Yeah. And what is this one? Do you know?
It's 304, maybe 305.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. You guys are putting in the hours.
It's a lot of work.
Dude,
welcome back, Kyle.
Dude.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're not using an AI agent to do our podcast.
That's right.
I just want to...
You get the old school way of doing things.
I'm not even here. That is the...
Well, you know, we don't usually... do we publish the video? I don't know. Do we publish the video?
There's little links on LinkedIn. We put little links on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
Little
snippets. But well, we're going to hear all about your agent too. So I know you're a busy guy, and we're thrilled to have you back. Just so that everybody knows the truth. The truth is, we've been bugging Kyle. He's been like, no, really, I have a life, and so we haven't been able to get him on. And then somebody from his org reaches out and says, "Hey, can you do it Friday at this time?" And we're like, "Absolutely, we're in."
We're in. We were very grateful you did fit me in on very short notice. So thank you guys.
Well, we love you long time. So this is good.
Correct.
So since we have you here, we have to ask you about Clearcover.
Yeah.
Your old school jam that you have. Give us a couple of minutes, catch us up on Clearcover.
Clearcover is doing great. We are in our 10th year of running that business, which is very exciting. And you know, there's as much excitement as there is around Dearborn Labs. There's a lot of great stuff going on at Clearcover. I think the business is growing. We took some time a couple of years ago to make sure that the underwriting was solid and the loss ratio was strong. It is in a very good place right now. We're very proud of the loss results in the business. We and got back to growth mode, and just launched a new product in Florida for the non-standard market, which we call Access. And I know we didn't come here to talk about it, but the Access product in Florida, we think has some pretty unique features for customers. So one is our feature we call FlexPay. So for Access in Florida, you can buy a 6-month policy and pay for it 7 days at a time.
7 days? Oh, wow. That's unique.
And paying 7 days at a time allows us to offer you a very, very low down payment. And so for that customer who, is managing their life check to check at times, being able to have good coverage at a much lower down payment matters. And then we have another feature we call our predictable protection fee, which, if you know non-standard auto, there's a lot of penalty fees. You get charged late fees and cancellation fees and reinstatement fees. And we flipped it on its head and we said, we are going to charge you a single fee, so you never have to pay one of those unexpected fees.
Okay.
And so our customers never get surprised by late cancellation, reinstatement, all these things that can be a real shock to your bank account because these aren't small numbers. And so the combination of affordable product, flexible payments, low down payments, and a fee structure that makes sense for your life and gives you some stability, we're really excited about. We're appointing agents in Florida right now. So if you're listening and you're an agent, you should try and sell it.
Yeah,
but
jump on.
But that's great. And then obviously all of the ongoing technology initiatives, which became sort of part of the origin story of Dearborn Labs.
So is Clearcover a customer of Dearborn Labs?
Clearcover was the first customer of Dearborn Labs, a longtime customer, and will be for a long time, I hope. But yeah, I think Clearcover, the origin story of Dearborn Labs was we have been working at Clearcover on technology and AI for about a decade.
Yeah.
And over that period of time, we have been able to gather lots of experience, institutional knowledge, of hard-won lessons, and frankly, many hundreds of millions of dollars spent developing technology and figuring out how to make it work in production in an insurance business. And it's great. It's been wildly beneficial to Clearcover, and I give you all sorts of stats on how much more efficient customer service and claims and distribution online, all of these great things we were seeing in our own business. But that technology was only creating value for Clearcover. Mm-hmm. And as we started looking around the market and having conversations with other carriers, MGAs, even agencies or other folks involved in the insurance value chain, we kept seeing opportunities for what we knew about how to build great AI and how to make it work in the insurance context could help these businesses. And so made the decision to create a second company under the holding company umbrella, Dearborn Labs. And Dearborn Labs is what I like to think of as an AI concierge.
Okay.
Which is, as I'm sure you're well aware, we had this conversation a second ago. The world of technology and AI in particular is moving at an ever accelerating rate. And it is really hard not to feel like you're falling behind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Our view was that where we really can carve out a niche and help people is by getting in early in a services and advisory capacity and helping people figure out what ought to get worked on and why and where they can expect to see results and how. And then not leave them with a deck that tells them, hey, this is what you ought to go build, but then forward deploy a team of engineers and product people who have done this for a decade to actually build the thing that matters for your business, make sure that it works properly, and you get the business result that you bargained for. So this hybrid sort of services and product approach with a forward deployed team of people who have done it for a decade, we think can be really powerful, and we're excited to try it out.
What was the point where you wanted to share this with the world? I guess what was the decision that said, hey, we're using this, Clearcover's using this today, but we want to share it? What was that point?
It was probably 2 months ago.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah. Because the press release is very, very new,
I'm not
right?
laughing with you. I'm laughing at you.
Yeah,
So
you should
please,
be.
go ahead.
I'm used to it. So this business has been in the works for about 10 years and 2 months. because it was 10 years of that hard won and relatively expensive experience figuring out how to build production AI in an insurance business and how to make it actually deliver business results. And then I would say 2 months ago, and it might not even be 2 months. It's March 6th. Yeah, it's probably around 2 months. What is possible with AI, in particular as it relates to knowledge work and running an insurance business, fundamentally changed. We had an inflection, whether or not everybody realizes it, that what it means to use AI in an insurance business hit an inflection point 2 months ago. And that was the point at which we said, we've had this idea for a minute. If we don't do it now, it will be too late.
Why 2 months ago? What was 2 months ago?
Yeah, what was the point?
There was a run of about a week when Anthropic released a whole host of new Claude capabilities geared towards building, but also geared towards knowledge work. And that was the week I think everyone realized this changes just about everything. And, that was the same week everybody also decided to create an OpenClaw agent, and the OpenClaw agents all went and created a social media site to talk to each other. And there was other crazy stuff happening, but underlying all of that, the fundamental thing underlying all of that is if you were willing to take another look at how any insurance business runs, and not just a carrier, but anyone in the ecosystem runs, with this new set of capabilities, you would find it would change pretty much everything. And that was when we said, if you were behind 6 months ago, you are going to be unbelievably behind 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now. And so and then help them actually get that value to their business.
And, we felt like the speed of technology was fast. And then every day it gets faster and faster. It's this flywheel that just keeps going and going and going and going and going. And you're absolutely right. If you're not involved in it, you're gonna get left behind. And so tell me, what are you looking for? What does a company need to do or want to do to come work with Dearborn Labs?
Or that they would hire Dearborn Labs?
Yeah, why would they hire you? What project? What are they doing? What's the thing?
Well, first of all, they're super, super smart.
Okay.
They, anyone
they
who
know
would
what they're
hire us,
doing.
obviously.
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
Very smart,
No
capable,
brainer.
attractive, right?
Good-looking people. That's just how it works.
We'll start with that. I think, look, I think that where we can start adding value, the first step in a relationship with Dearborn Labs is what we call our discovery engagement.
Okay.
And the discovery engagement is really just us understanding your company. And we have some technology we've built at Clearcover that helps us get a better sense of what's going on programmatically. And if you eat our own cooking, we use AI to help figure out where some of the AI opportunities are in your business. But I think in the conversations I've had with executives in this space, particularly in the middle market, because let's be honest, at the enterprise level, they have lots of money to hire the McKinseys of the world or all the consultants being, OpenAI is hiring consultants and Anthropic's hiring consultants. And so they can throw a lot of money at having somebody figure out what to work on. In the middle market, you guys have run these businesses. These folks are very focused on running their business, right? There's not a lot of extra money to throw around to have somebody leave you with a strategy deck that you may or may not do anything with. Mm-hmm. And so our discovery engagement, we come in and really what I want to do is have a conversation with the executive who's saying, everything is moving so fast. My board is asking me what we're doing with AI. I got 100 emails from vendors in my inbox that I can't make sense of, who does what and why. I just want to figure out what's worth working on. And then once I figure out what's worth working on, I want to make sure I can actually do it and I get a business result from it.
Every executive right now who reports to the board is getting asked that question. I want, what are you doing with AI? And they have emails full of all the options and they're saying, I don't know. What's real and what's not? What's hype?
Which is very reasonable.
And what's real? I don't know. That's fascinating.
And we I think where we can really add value is we've gone through that process. We've been doing it for a while, and I wouldn't claim to be the one capable of knowing all of those things, but we have been fortunate enough to have built a team who has then built a bunch of this technology, knows a bunch of the vendor landscape, and can really help sort through what is worth working on and what maybe can wait and how to build the thing that is going to get you a result that you need.
So it's agnostic to a specific product or platform. correct?
Yeah, we have, so Clearcover, this is where I think the model is most exciting to me. We enter in a discovery engagement. We figure out what the opportunities are in your business, what you want to achieve, what's out there to help you do it. Because we are sort of creating this from Clearcover, we have a whole bunch of technology that we have spent a lot of time and money building over the last decade. So if the problem that we discover is you want AI agents to handle inbound customer chats, we can help. We've done that in our own business. I have a great piece of technology for it. If you want to allow agents that you work with to do embedded distribution because they have local partnerships and they want to plug in a way to quote there, I have that technology pre-built. If you want a co-pilot for your claims reps so that they have an AI that can help them do summaries and draft responses and understand what's going on in their files, we got that. That's sitting on the shelf. But if you have a problem that you would rather solve with a vendor, or my solution is not going to be most cost effective for you, great. We're in the business of figuring out what problems you want to solve and helping you solve them effectively, and are more than willing to deploy our own technology or someone else's technology to achieve that, whatever's going to deliver the best outcome for the client, which is nice for me because it's what I'm really excited about here is really solving these problems with people. And I have a lot of technology I can bring to bear to solve those problems, but we don't have to.
So you're not only offering the technology, you're offering the implementation. You're offering the fact finding around what the problem is, right? A lot of people are going to tell you, I have these symptoms. You're going to come in and say, well, here's your problem. You're either going to say, I have a solution, or they have a solution, or we can build a solution, but you're going to ultimately implement it. Is that the value prop? Is not so much the technology, but more the implementation of whatever technology it is?
The value prop is 10 years of real experience deploying production AI in an insurance business and helping you figure out how to get that done on your own, whether that's with my technology or somebody else's. We're not going to give you a strategy and leave you with it. We're not going to give you a piece of technology with walls on it and leave you with it, right? And even implementation, I think, sort of undersells it, because this is, again, if you're an executive at a business and you say, what am I going to do with AI? The answer isn't buy a piece of software and hope it works. The answer is change something fundamentally in this business that delivers some financial result that justifies the investment. And that's what our team has a bunch of experience doing, is like figuring out, look, this is what we think will be valuable. We can actually put that thing in a market. And in today's world, much faster than has ever been possible before. And then once something is in there, we can make sure it works. We can measure it with you. We can really help you drive the business outcome you were seeking from it, because I had to do the same thing. We're a startup. So when we said, hey, we're going to roll out, this is a specific example. We are going to roll out an AI agent that talks with you after you submit a claim, which effectively replaces a recorded statement. So and right now, 91% of people who file a claim with us talk to this AI agent after they file a claim, and the AI agent goal seeks and finds out a bunch of information that we still need from the consumer in order to make sure, or the claimant, to make sure that the claim goes smoothly and can go fast. And cycle times went down by like 3 days because of this. And like that, great. Are there people who can sell you chatbots? For sure. But to be able to go to one person and say, we can help you look at your claims org, figure out where the big opportunities are. Let's pick a problem. We'll prototype it for you so you can see what it looks and feels like. Then we'll actually put it into production for you, because we do that too. We've done that for a decade. And then we'll help you figure out what impact it had on your business, because we've had to do the same thing too. I don't just get to deploy it and then hope it works. And so like that, that's back to the, what do I do about AI? I want to be the full answer to that problem, even if I'm not every component of it. We want to be able to just help people sleep at night, because the world is changing quickly and it takes a lot to keep.
So you won't really, Dearborn won't really leave, might not leave, right? I mean, like when there's a Guidewire, we've all seen a Guidewire implementation where, 800 people move into the facility for 4 years, and it's just mind-boggling for a small businessman like myself to walk through something like. I'm like, does this make sense, right? But that aside, you're going to partner with an organization, really honestly partner with them, not just give us 6 months and we'll give you AI?
I think it's never leave sounds a little ominous. I mean, you could ask me to, I suppose.
Okay.
But yeah, look, I think yes, and a couple things that I would draw distinctions of in that statement. So one is the notion of being forward deployed and like actually working within an organization to help them build something is different now than it was a few months ago. Because today you can have a single forward deployed engineer who manages an army of AI agent engineers who are doing the work. So the days of like 800 people sitting somewhere to do work, those are gone if you're paying attention. It is a harness engineer who knows how to use multiple agents to do different pieces of the work and can get it done very, very quickly because of that. So like these very long tenured, very high, human capital intensive implementation efforts, it should not have to work like that anymore. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is like, deploy AI in 6 months? I would love to. And I think that's very, very possible, but I wouldn't want to stop there either. Because the answer to how do I improve my business with AI is almost never this thing. It's like it's doing a whole host of things that improve the business each in its own way. And then where that gets even more powerful is that if you want to really like harness the power of agentic tools to improve your insurance business, what you really want are agents that work together. You think about how you run a business, like people work together. The person who runs claims works with the person who runs underwriting, works with the person who runs pricing.
Exactly. Multi-departmental cooperation.
The insurance is a complex adaptive system. You pull on one lever, it's going to move somewhere else, which means it's very cross-functional. People have to work together a lot to do it. Agentic tools don't naturally work that way. You buy a piece of software over here to work in claims and use AI. It's not necessarily going to connect to the vendor who's helping you improve your underwriting with AI. And what I hope we can do with Dearborn Labs is really start to create that connection layer for the business, that unification layer for the business that allows these AI tools, even if I didn't build them, to work cohesively. Because if you really wanted a business to be run agentically, what you would say is, I have a host of core systems here at the bottom of my business, and I don't know that any of those need to be replaced, to be honest. Like this is not like I'm begging you to lift and shift from this core system to that core system. Like, I don't know, it's up to the business owner what they want to do with that. But those core systems have a whole bunch of data that's important for the business. Object level data, a claim, a policy, what happened on the claim, what is on the policy, a customer service interaction, lives in these core systems. That's great. Agents can do a lot with that, but they do a lot more if they have context. And what the agent wants to know is not just what's in the claim system, but how did it get in there? Who put it in there? Who did they talk to about it before they put it in there? Who did they talk to after? How long did it sit in there? All this contextual information about how the business runs is magic for an AI agent. Mm-hmm. That is oil for an AI agent. And so what we hope to be able to do is to come in and really get a sense of like, look, this is the data that resides in the core systems. We can layer contextual data around how the business works on top of that. And that then becomes the fundamental substrate on which a team of cross-functional agents can now make good decisions about how to run the business. Because the claims agent isn't making a decision in isolation. The claims agent can make a decision with reference to what the underwriting agent knows about its own job. And like, that's how real work works in an insurance business. That's where I think we are all headed. Nobody's got it done just yet. But my hope is by coming in and helping people solve these problems one at a time, we will be building that fundamental substrate for the business.
I think one of your main jobs is going to be educating and encouraging the deployment of AI, right? You have a lot of companies who don't know what's going on. They have great IT departments who have done things the way that IT departments have always done things, and AI doesn't always work the same way. You're going to have to do a lot of work on that. Is that something you're considering? Is that something that you're preparing for as well?
We are, and even though we're a startup, these are very real problems we have solved as well. Yeah. This is a regulated business, and it's a compliance-centric business. It's a business that I think has individual actors that tend not to respond well to change unless that change is framed properly. And so this is all part of the process of rolling something out. Is like, I don't intend to tell, an executive how they should do change management of business. We're happy to share our own experiences about how we did that. But certainly we have scars, lessons, and some of that goes to the implementation itself. Like how do you roll out this technology? Here's another example. Our Claims Copilot, which is a fantastic piece of technology. Our sort of feature handled per rep stats are roughly 3x what you would typically see at a traditional carrier, because the reps 100% of reps use this agent. And so, but how does that happen?
Right.
That doesn't happen because you built the technology. That happens because you understand the rep's workflow, and then you build a system of adoption for the tool into said workflow. And like this, it doesn't have to be super complicated either. Like this, what we did is we did a launch with an incentive, and we said, look, we're gonna for the first couple of months, the one who uses it the most gets this amount of money. And the one who comes up with the coolest idea on how to use it gets this amount of money. And lo and behold, 2 months of doing a competition is 2 months of real on-the-job training for how to use the tool properly. And it gives you a sense of who's really good at it and where it broke along the way. And so like we have, again, hard-won experience in not just building the thing, but figuring out how to roll it out into the insurance business in a way that is actually going to deliver financial result for you.
So right now we're in like part 1-ish, part 2-ish of AI, right? Of the AI revolution taking hold in a widespread way. And you're going to be working on these people and help them get on board, right? In a couple of years, we'll be many years into it. Does your role change over time? I mean, there's this great opportunity now because it's binary. There's organizations that use it and organizations that don't, and organizations that have an idea and organizations that don't. But soon, don't you agree? It's going to be very wise. People are jumping into this pool every day. Where's it going? What's your
question?
It's a good question. I mean, if I knew exactly where it's going 2 years from now, I'd probably be trading that thought versus doing this. But look, here's what I'll tell you what I think I do know. I don't know where it's going to be in 2 years. What I'm pretty sure about is that if you're doing nothing now, you're going to have a lot of problems. So like, I don't know where you're going to be in 2 years, but I can guarantee you it's going to be a bad place if you're doing nothing with the tools right now. So that one I'll stand behind fully. Is what a business looks like in 2 years. Some of that is going to be a function of where the technology goes. My high level sense of the taxonomy here is software tends to try and fit you into a workflow. So there's lots of software like AI tools out there, and they're going to say, hey, this is a fantastic tool, and here's the workflow you need to use in order to use it properly, which is fine. That works, and that may be the best way to get the outcome you're looking for. At some point, the agentic tools will be easy enough to build or flexible enough that they just start to wrap around an existing workflow. So instead of saying, hey, you got to do things this way for the AI to be useful, the AI is just going to ride along with you and make you more useful. It'll mold itself. It'll be like water. It kind of fits the workflow neatly, and you don't have to shape yourself around it. And the beauty of that, in my mind, is that when the agent can really start to experience the workflow with you and gains the context again of how the work gets done, not just what the work you did is, then you can get to a point where the agent becomes the workflow. And they know enough about how it works that the agent can just start doing that. And that doesn't mean humans aren't useful, but it means they just have a different purpose in the job, which is like the same way engineering works right now. Like you can see the engineers who are staying ahead of the curve are realizing that they're no longer writing code. It's their job to create an environment that makes it easy for agents to write code. And it'll be the same thing with knowledge work. We will be in charge of creating an environment and a set of context that allows the agents to do the work on our behalf, and then checking and coaching along the way. And like we talked about at the beginning, I did this. I built my own AI assistant, and this is the exact experience that we are going through. It's just in micro.
Yeah, I think that was something. You had told us all about your AI agent, how you were building it, and the things it does. And I asked you, I said, what is your value? What is your value prop? Right? If your AI agent's able to do a job, what's your value prop? And it goes back to the main human fundamental things of reasoning, logic, oversight. And what this has done, your AI agent, and many AI things, it allows you to do the valuable things that you should do, and also the enjoyable things, right? There are times that AI could do something of high value, but it's also human nature to be enjoyed. And it's something that we want to do. So we find ways for AI to help us with our other systems that are not as enjoyable or low value, and we focus on the higher value. I think it's really interesting. You're not only doing it at work, but you're doing it, within your own world. But your advice, and I kind of circle all the way back at the very beginning before we started, your advice was just use it. Get in there. Don't be the one left behind, right? We all have the parent or the grandparent who's like, oh, I'm not going to touch that technology. I don't want to do, they didn't have that when I was there. And the thought is at some point, you just stopped using the newest technology. Don't be the one who stops. Continue through. And that way you're not so scared. You're not so afraid, because it is scary. It is scary. I think that's a really interesting thought.
Well, not only is it scary, but one of the things Kyle's saying, it's going to get scarier, right?
It's going to get scarier. Yeah.
If you'll just get further and further behind, it's like a math class that you're not doing the homework, right?
It's going to get scarier, but it also, if you're willing to confront that fear, then you will overcome it much faster, because the tool will be able to help you do it. So if you look at the pace at which the technology improves, right? You could like extrapolate this to, it would be like trying out what a cell phone is capable of every 5 years or so is the equivalent of testing what AI is capable of every like 5 weeks right now. And so like you really just have to have the courage to like get in and try it again and do something new with it. And every person we have said, like, many people have the same reaction. They're like, hey, I did this whole ChatGPT thing. Like, I can't even do math. And we'll say, have you checked it in the last couple of weeks? Like, I want you to download Claude and I want you to try it again. And almost all those people go, oh shit. Like it's real good at math now and can do a whole bunch of other things I didn't know. And also the notion of like, you got to be a great prompt engineer to get use out of it. Yep. It's not all that true anymore either, because the AI has gotten good enough that if you can just ask it entry level questions, it'll guide you to a place where you can accomplish whatever you need to. And so I'm with you. It's going to get scarier, but I think like if you have the courage to just get in and try something, you will overcome that fear just as quickly.
And there's great advantage coming to the insurance industry, right? Where they've needed a lot of hands, like it's particularly in like claim departments, to handle volume and just the run of the mill running of claims and doing things. And you're talking about significant cost reductions coming to carriers, right? I mean, big.
It's made a big difference for us in terms of what an individual in the business is capable of handling, certainly. And it's only getting better. And I would not claim that, Clearcover is a Dearborn Labs client because we built some of this stuff, but also because there's a lot of work left to do. Again, we've been at it for a decade, and I look at Clearcover and say, there's still so much meat on the bone in terms of functional areas we haven't yet gotten to touch, or like stuff we worked on 6 months ago that's already out of date. And so that is like, it's exciting, but I'm with you. It can, I think back to the genesis, like I get the sense that the general sentiment in the market is, what do I do about all this? And I don't have all the answers, but I think we can help.
I wanna read some off of your your website, which I really, really loved, right? Technology is only half the equation. Every insurance company sees the potential of AI. Almost none have it changing how they operate. The last mile is where we live. That's powerful. Every company needs and knows that they need to be using AI. Every company is overwhelmed with technology. Companies today need direction. Most importantly, they need from the implementation to the usage. And I think that's a great place to live. I think you really nailed it on, hit it on the head right there with that statement. And I'm excited for you. That's you're undergoing some really neat things. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I would love to jump in as an AI nerd myself, self-proclaimed nerd. You're doing some cool things. You're jumping in, you're finding problems, you're going to find solutions, you're going to do implementation and change. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time.
We're very excited. And Jarvis will be pleased to hear you like that line. I think he wrote it. So
good. That was going to be my question afterwards. Is this a full?
I built it, and I can't write a line of code.
There you go. The things you can.
Now, Jarvis, to be clear, Jarvis was an AI voice out of the box isn't going to be great. So Jarvis has a number of skills to help it write in a way that is more akin to my own writing style. So it has a skill to help it not write like AI. And then it also has a skill that it built on my own like writing samples to try and get a little bit closer to it.
You did hit something right there. Isn't it funny how maybe a year ago you would read something written by AI and you're like, whoa, this person's really smart. They're using AI and good for them. And then all of a sudden it flipped on its head and you're like, they're using AI. Mm-hmm. I can see the dash. Come on.
Jarvis has a handful of clear and present rules, like watch out for M dashes. Don't say it's not this, it's that. Don't say, like rocket ship emojis, use sparingly.
Yes, no more rocket, like no more always in threes, right? In that right now the trend is it's boom, boom, and boom, boom, boom. And give me a fourth. Drop a fourth for a second. Come on, change it around a little.
And it's not perfect, but Jarvis did much of the work on a lot of the launch, but was given pieces of a brain that hopefully allowed more of the content to feel authentic and unique then.
And what kind of reception are you seeing in the marketplace, honestly? I mean, he's like, I'm not that involved in the business anymore, but Lee tells me all the time that the I'm going to say the pressure on execs to deal with this is great, right? And omnipresent. And so I'm sure some people are saying, thank God or whatever, but what's the reception like? What are you hearing from the market?
So far, so good. I mean, we the news broke Wednesday. We put the press release out yesterday.
Hot off the press.
Oh gosh,
a handful of people have. Yeah, you're first. You again. Like this is
first.
Thanks for getting me on. All of those, the boxes of chocolates.
It all worked.
The beer I've been sending worked. Yeah.
That's okay, bro.
If you didn't get those, I'm sorry. I don't know where they ended
Things
up.
happen.
Well, we're holding out for a Dearborn Labs.
It is a tech, right? I don't like hoodies.
I know. We don't have any swag yet. I gotta get some swag. The colors are.
There's your first problem. Just ask me. I'll tell you.
And I will tell you that the black and orange are cool, and it is not a coincidence. Those are the same colors as the McLaren F1 team, which is my favorite, and I've followed for many, many years. So like I get dual purpose swag out of here. I was going to wear my Lando Norris jersey on the podcast. It was kind of cold in this room, and
I'd have to go get my Max gear. So
I'm so sorry. That's all right.
Let's not get into a competition there. Okay.
Like a championship, like who won the last championship, or like total championships?
Or before that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, just checking.
Okay. Dude, let's go. I want to go so bad. Don't even get me started. Let's go. But
congratulations, Kyle.
Well, congratulations. I think.
Thank you.
I mean, there's no argument that it's timely. No argument. Dying to hear how it goes. And it'll be interesting for you to be selling stuff to people like you instead of to people like me who need car insurance, right? So,
well,
you
hopefully not just
I got
like
news
me.
for you. It's a little different.
Yeah, I hear this, and we have a lot to learn on that front too. But I think we have a lot of ways to help people. So as long as I don't get in the way of that,
it's going to be great. You're going to come back on in 6 months and give us an update and tell us all the things you've learned and all the ways you've helped people. It's going to be a great time.
If I'm doing my job right, then
I'm
Jarvis
about to say,
will keep
I'm
track
hoping
of all of the things I've learned and screwed up, and I'll just say, I'm going back on the podcast. Can you pull all the stuff that I learned?
make it all. I want Jarvis to. This is what you need to have Jarvis document for a case study. You could easily publish a case study on a company being founded by AI to help implement AI, and I think
maybe Jarvis deserves a co-founder title. We'll see if I don't know how Delaware feels about.
There you go, one of the first AI co-founders.
We can try that one out
of all time. I love it.
Awesome. Well, listen, have Jarvis reach out to us, which I'm sure that he is capable of doing.
And he will ask, yes.
And we'll get you back on. You know that you're always welcome here.
I always enjoy the time, guys. Thank you so much for allowing us to tell the story.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on, Kyle.
2 things. Love Kyle. Love him.
Love him.
He's a great guy and brilliant.
Yeah.
Not bad for an attorney. 2, love the idea. Love the idea.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I love everything about it. I wish him the best, and I can't wait for him to come back on and tell us all the success he's had. It's going to be a great time.
In case anyone's wondering, your dog apparently loves the idea.
My dog is so excited. I've done everything I can not to let that dog bark. But
so thanks to our production, thanks to Kyle, thanks to our production staff, thanks to you for listening. And until next time, we'll say
goodbye, everybody.